What's good, homies, and welcome back to another episode in our Parramatta career mode series. Now unfortunately I had to restart a new save, but instead of playing through the first 4 rounds once again, I simulated the first 4 rounds and got the same win-loss that I had on my old save. The reason for starting over is because there was a number of duplicates and I was having issues during recruitment time. I'm pretty sure I got rid of most of them, but I guess we'll see once that transfer window opens up. So with that being said, we are in round 5 and our opponent for today are the Raiders. But before we get to the Raiders, here's a look at today's lineup. So as you can tell, it's a more realistic approach. We've got Clint Gutherson, Blake Ferguson, Brad Takairangi, Michael Jennings and Bevan French in our back 5. In the halves we've got Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses. In the front row we've got Tepai Moidor, Reed Mani and Daniel Alvaro. And in the back row we got Murata Nikore, Manu Mao and Nathan Brown, who will be the captain for the remainder of the season. On the bench, which will probably be subject to change in the future, we've got Will Smith, Junior Paulo, the veteran Tim Manor and Sean Lane. So because we're in round 5, here's a look at the ladder and where we stand at the moment compared to our opponent, the Raiders. As you can see, we're just below them on the ladder and we pretty much have an identical start to the season. One thing you'll notice during the season is that the jerseys will be updated gradually as the season progresses, thanks to Cormac, who is a Rugby League Live 4 modder. First run of the game comes in the 9th minute as we try and send Nathan Brown through the middle. But it's well read by the defense as we shift it to the right here through Dylan Brown. Links up with Gutho and Gutho's going to get pulled down just outside our 20. As we look to spread it to the left, we're a little hesitant with Moses and that results in Moses getting absolutely cleaned up by the defense. As we shift it to Brown this time, he goes out the back to Ferguson. Went for a little chip over the top, but it gets played at by a Raider and we get a reset. As you can see here, we almost throw a forward pass and then we almost get thrown into touch. Just trying to send it to the middle here, trying to settle it in the middle so we can get some room to play around with the ball here. As we set up to the left, we send it to Brown. And with bodies in motion, Brown finds Ferguson on the wing, who steps around one defender, fends off another for the first try of the game. Some pretty decent ball playing on display by the rookie number 6, as we missed the kick with Moses, and we're going to keep a 4-point lead. Approaching the 17th minute, in possession once again, 3rd tackle. We send it to Brown and Brown gets absolutely hammered as we hold on to the ball. I was looking for a runner, but I just took too long to get rid of the ball. As it gets a little sloppy here in the middle of the field. Can't really blame the weather given that it doesn't feel like it affects gameplay too much like it did in Rugby League Live 3. As we try a little chip and chase, we knock it on into the hands of Chance Nickel Klokstad, who almost breaks away, but he's wrapped up just past their 20. The Raiders really not showing anything in attack as we get hammered once again. On the 3rd tackle this time, 26 minutes in, we're through the gap, but we sent it out to Michael Jennings, who steps around their fullback and he gets pulled down 25 out from the line. A quick play the ball here as Mitchell Moses runs onto it, just shuffling it down the line as Nikore, who was through the hole, tried throwing it inside. He gets intercepted, and once again, like I said, the Raiders were pretty bad in attack, nothing to show, just some basic one-up running, and that pretty much wrapped up the first half. Second half of the game. We're approaching the 50th minute mark as Gutho returns it here. The pass was on, but we don't send it. As they set up for a play on the short side, looking for a cheeky little inside ball, but it's well read by the defense. The option obviously was to send it to Ferguson, but I just got the play wrong on that occasion. With this game sometimes, it moves a little too fast in certain situations. As we try and run it out of dummy half, a drawing pass to Takairangi, and he's going to get pulled down inside the 40. On the 4th here, as we send it out wide to Gutherson, try turning it back inside to Paulo to try and burst through the middle, but he ends up running a loss as he gets driven backwards. 5th and last, we're going to run it here as we put Ferguson in space, a chip over the top, and he regathers it as he's diving for his 2nd try of the game. Another double for Ferguson, who has been one of the best players in the series so far, and he's been killing it in real life as well, which is good to see if you're a Para fan. Well, if you're a league fan in general, seeing teams that have struggled for a few years now finally string some wins together, and even though they lost in their last game, it was still a decent performance, I guess. It's just good for the game in general. As we get back to the match at hand, Will Smith trying to test their middle here as we send it to Brown. Brown looking for the corner. We don't quite get the bounce we need as Nickel Klokstad gets around his opposite, and he's going to get pulled down on halfway. First tackle here for the Raiders, and it's going to be Kotrick here doing a bit of the dirty work, getting them past halfway as they send it to Caesar. He links up with Gula. The Raiders making a ton of meters here as Whitehead, this time, he gets wrapped up on the 30. Another quick play the boys, they send it inside to Bateman, and John Bateman breaks away from 2 defenders, gets the pass away to Papali'i, who stopped right before the line. Siliva Havili this time from dummy half, gets one of those cheeky little tries from dummy half as they send it up to the video ref, and as you can see, he gets the grounding, but what a run from John Bateman, the Englishman. He beat 2 defenders, and then he managed to get the offload away with 2 defenders hanging onto him. We're going to show it here during the kick. So Croker converts, and that pretty much wraps up all the action here in round 3. I'm not sure about Dylan Brown playing at 5'8" for us. He's got low stats, as does Reed Mani, but I think the challenge in having those low-rated players in the team, Nukore another one, we even got Micah Sevo waiting in the wings, waiting for an opportunity. I think the challenge and difficulty trying to win some games with them, it'll be fun, it'll be a fun process. There's plenty of depth for us to toy around with. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this episode. Of course, nothing has changed with the people's choice. If you want to participate, just comment down below on who you thought were the top performers of today's game. I've even pulled up everyone's stats so you can have a quick gaze at that. And if you made it this far into the video, hit up that comment section with the hashtag OddSquad. Be sure to slap that like button for more Rugby League Live 4 content, or more content in general. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you later.
Hey, pass the smoky 2 ways. Hey, day smoking since the school days. After school detention got us 2-faced. We ain't learning shit but how to skip out in a new way.